Hello and peace, greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Insights with Transformation Leaders. We have with us the amazing Eiko Sakuma. Welcome, Eiko.
Hi, thank you so much, Azeeza, for having me.
Thank you for being in our space, and it's so exciting that we are in this conversation together with Eiko. Friends, you know that the Insights with Transformation Leaders program is a project of Go Global Business School. We bring you amazing transformation leaders who are trailblazers, been there, done that, and sharing with us their inspiration and their transformation journey. So today we are having Eiko, and just to tell you a little bit about her, she is a WeFlow Japan partner and steward at weflow.net, and a CEO and Transcultural business expander at AMEA Inc. So is that a short form or is it like a name by itself?
It's a short form, yes,
All right.
for our family company.
And it's so amazing, Eiko. You're born in Japan and raised in Germany, and also Polynesian inspired, Dutch, happy living,
Yes.
polyglot, Earth citizen in the network of hearts. I just love the way that this whole thing is put together. Thank you so much, Eiko, for joining us today.
Yeah, such a pleasure and honor to be here, Azeeza. I really appreciate your enthusiasm of asking me to interview. So yeah, I'm super happy to share this space with you today.
Love it, love it, love it. And I want to ask of you, as we start this conversation, your work revolves around conscious business. We'd love to have your definition of conscious business. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'd like to ask you, what is not conscious business, to be very precise? So as we are human beings with consciousness and do business, what is not conscious around it, right? So we like to really, have it broad and also specific on what conscious business can be. It can be also said as mindful business, that the way we do business mindfully, or using consciousness and doing business around using collective consciousness. So it's very broad, but very powerful the way we put it. Yes.
I love it when you question back what is not. And that's exactly what it is, isn't it? We say business is service to humanity. I mean, we're talking about giving value and how you can be conscious in your living. You can add value to that way. And it's like duh, right?
Yeah.
It's about duh. It's like, so tell me, what has inspired you to take on this journey? I mean, you look really young. I know Japanese people are very young looking, so I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're really young, and definitely your vibrancy shines through. Tell us a little bit about your journey in where you are right now in life.
Yeah, so it's actually, I celebrate the journey with reflow 1 year this past weekend. And it's been really, really incredible how everything is coming together now. So as you introduced me, I was born in Japan, grew up in UK, Germany, Japan. Also did some Pacific Island studies. That's why I traveled in different islands in Polynesia. Okay. And then I settled in the Netherlands, where I, through some people actually in Davos 2020, so that was the last World Economic Forum that happened, I got to know Stefan Segatori, who is the codifier and originator of reflow. And I really didn't have any training or coaching experiences up until then. But reflow was completely something else. And it's just showing how life is much more beautiful than we could ever imagine. And yes, so it was last May that I took the 2 months program in reflow, because I felt it was an experiential transformation for me, that I could bring on the action that is the most important in the world for me, and could make heaven on earth. Really, to bring my gifts out to the world through actions, building business in a conscious way, using collective intelligence and the we mind, which is just beyond mind blowing and heart blowing.
Wow, your words are very, very abstract, I would say. I'm going to use that word. And I'm going to challenge you to a conversation right now. You're talking about heaven on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely not looking so for many people in the world, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I want everybody to take a deep breath in with this conversation, everyone. And what have you got to say about that?
Yeah, so the key question is, what if everything we need is already here? And we build micro agreements and establish a culture and the we space that we can just be ourselves and bring about the most important, what we feel alive about, and our excitement into action and bring it into a form. So if we have access to all resources in our wisdom, what is it that we want to bring and do right now in this moment?
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you a different way. So right now, people are feeling there's no resources. They're like, it's dead end for some of them. So how can they embrace that truth? I'd love to hear it from you.
Yeah. So,
and I'm with you, by the way. I'm so with you, by the way, in this conversation.
Yes.
So I just want to have your take on this, because the world needs to hear it right now through you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for making it explicit. So I think we, as we go along in our lives, we do make, or we tend to make, a lot of assumptions in our lives, right? And assumptions of lack or limitation, or something we cannot do. We accumulate them and condition our thinking and actions around them. But to ask if it's really true, and to connect with other human beings with the heart instead of the mind, what difference that can make is actually, if we think that we are alone or just an individual and we're limited in any way. But the truth is, if we lift the assumption and let go of them and just see how everything is connected, and that we all have the innate sovereignty and the power to create what we meant to, or want to, or feel the urge to. So it's a culture. Reflow is a culture that we establish between many I minds, or mind streams that come together. And it's a support system, but it's not a lending hand type of a support. It's just the knowing that we all have what we all need and the access to it.
I want you to explain a little bit about the reflow, because I get where you're coming from. I think I love the idea when you started off by saying collective, collective effort, collective mind, and all of that. And you are just going in the direction, we are flowing in that direction. So let's hear from you. What does the core value of reflow is, and how does that go about happening? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So all this may be very, very abstract, but the thing is that in reflow we use injunctive language instead of descriptive language. So if we make stories that are really powerful, and I've been a storyteller, so I know the power of it, but there are so many ways of perceiving. So if we just open up to addressing what is happening in our awareness, consciousness, or in our bodies, so we can relate, oh, this is happening to you, and I can get it, instead of a story that is really beautiful, which we can resonate with or make projections on, or imagine. We can, we can just share the wisdom and the collective knowledge in humanity. So that's what is most powerful in reflow, and it's a collective emergence. So it's not somebody who sat in a cave for 10 years to emerge this. It was actually already there, and it's been reverse engineered into sets of wisdom and practice and questions that we can use to get into flow and to really bring about the action. And it can be anything. So, for example, if we are having an assumption of like suffering through so much frustration or anger, emotion, sadness, we can transform this by making space into a creative power to bring about what's most alive in us.
Okay, so anything else, like right now, how is this being done? Where is this available? And I saw your website, it's got a lot of like a platform on people getting together on events. Tell us a little bit on that direction.
Yeah, so reflow emerged 3 years ago in Amsterdam among conscious practitioners, and from there it really is taking off in the last year. Now it's available in Japan. I'm partner of it. I've introduced it last December, and the collective has been growing and booming. Now we're also in the US. Brazil is coming up, and many countries across Europe, of course. And we're a very international collective of people with so many diverse gifts, which is really, really beautiful to see. And the fact that it's growing so fast and reaching all corners of the world, we feel that this is really what's needed right now. And we can, there's so much potential for transformation and impact. So we feel very, very, alive in our hearts to, being here. And the beautiful fact is that we do have programs or one-on-one sessions that we, and also have your course to become a steward, which is our word for a facilitator for reflow. And we also cater for businesses, so companies, big organizations of 250 people to some digital agencies. So there are many ways we can bring it, but what we really, really bring in here is how we want to be, live and work around each other in a very nourishing way, so that we don't come from the scarcity mindset, but from abundance mindset, and that we just perceive using the heart as a perception organ, which doesn't happen in business often because we try to figure out everything in our minds. But if we just establish a culture that everything is welcome and unjudged, or it can be checked, it creates cognitive safety. And that is what I really feel strongly about, that in businesses, schools, or families, actually. And it can be, so if we bring about well-being, which is heavenly, but also the financial safety, which is the business actions. And if we can scale these both up to permanent financial safety and well-being, what would you do in this world? So that's what we're supporting. And especially if you do have peak experiences, expansive experiences, we help or support the integration and implementation into daily life. Because if you go to a festival or if you go to a retreat, it's amazing. You have so many experiences that you're maybe overwhelmed. But if you come home, how do you continue that? Or how do you implement it in daily life And that's where reflow really comes in and supports and makes a difference. So we provide close backups for program participants or business people. And the beautiful fact that is we have impact accounting. So we always check how happy they are, the value they received, to make sure that it's financially risk-free, because we want them to prosper, and that's what we're here for.
Fantastic. I want to touch on impact accounting because I saw that statement in the website as well. Mm-hmm. Before that, I want to ask you, because you talked about going into different cultures and everything. You specialize in transcultural business activities, and you actually, like German, Japan, English speaking and all of that. So how do you integrate your work into this? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So there's so many assumptions I've had around language. I've always loved people, so that's why I picked up languages, went into different cultures to really know how people think or act. And translations of those, it was effortful for me to do it in a way, to do it technically, and to be very serious about it. That have to get it right and so on. But I felt that, in our heart, the truth is that we cannot actually just translate one-to-one, but we transculturate it. It's a transculturation of things, that we perceive something and using it our heart and emerging from the heart the knowledge in another output language. And it speaks for the language, but also for different cultures, different mindsets, values. And through reflow, I got to really, accelerate my business in that way as well, that it feels much more effortless through flow to do these actions as well.
I love it when you say transculture and it's about the heart, because, I speak Chinese and English and Tamil. Sometimes what you say in Chinese, you want to translate it into English, the essence doesn't come out. It's like just a translation. So I'm completely with you on that. And the same thing for Tamil, like anything on the, the local language or the mother tongue, we call it, the essence of it needs to come out. The whole picture needs to come out, but it doesn't until you give it the real essence. And that's the beauty of this. And you focus on that, and that's wonderful.
Yeah. So there's one micro agreement that may actually help. And I already may have introduced it on Clubhouse when we met. Are you open to hear that?
Yes, please do that.
Okay. Can we aim for 100% playfulness and maximum of 69% seriousness?
Wow.
Yeah.
100% playfulness. I'm going to pen this down on the...
Beautiful. Thank you.
And 69%?
Yeah, seriousness. That's what we found out at a healthy level of seriousness. We are serious because we care, but there's a certain threshold which is very healthy. And beyond that, a bit harmful. So yeah, we are just inviting or making it explicit that we can be super playful and fun, and also serious at the same time. And this is great space.
And that sometimes disturbs cultures. Some cultures cannot accept that. That's the truth of the matter. And that's very interesting. I just love it that you are speaking about that, because sometimes when you are, I have people asking me, like, sometimes it's like such a serious situation. I'm like, here, a little bit joy, but it's like, you can't, this is serious. You cannot be, doing this. So it can come across, and that is the cultural limitations that is put on people. So how do you showcase that in business then?
Yeah. So I go in actually first by removing all assumptions of limitations from my side for anyone, including myself. And the base principle for reflow is we give freedom before anything. we give freedom to each other before anything. So even if I offered the question or the micro agreement, I asked you if you're open to hear it, right? So we never impose or give something without freedom, or we just check if it's given with freedom, because we are free, and we want everyone to be free to choose for themselves and speak for themselves. So we also check assumptions with people if we perceive something, and it's very evident in Asian cultures, I think, that many things are implicit and cannot be spoken, or it's in the air, but the tension builds up because everyone is thinking, expecting, and but so on and so forth. I can definitely speak that from the Japanese culture, but by just asking it, just simply, I feel a little tension in the space. Do you also experience this right now? Like, is it something you feel also or share, or is this just me making my mind go crazy?
So you
just
asked,
asking,
right?
yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's like, oh my God.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that kind of eases the whole thing. And it's like giving authenticity and space. Wow. And that shifts everything, actually.
Yeah.
I love it when you say freedom before anything, and we give the respect to a human being and allow them to be and feel what they want to have in that space, and allow us to feel the way that we want to feel.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I just love, somebody just commented, cross-cultural competence is the most essential training needed in today's globalized world. Yeah, so thank you for that insight. So we have people commenting, so I'm just reading out some of the interesting
Nice.
ones. Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
for that.
I'm
And
curious, Azeeza, how is it for you? Has it shifted since we started talking about playfulness or freedom? How's
well,
it?
the moment you said that with that action, I'm like, I'm with you, girl.
Yay!
And this is what it is. And unless we 100% own our authentic self and not constrain, and I really want to address this because there are people feeling they are suffering, and yes, the feeling is real. We respect that. So we just need to, and this is what we did. We actually did a 7 days increase of love and peace vibrations of individuals. So we cannot impact everybody. We impact ourselves first. So to really focus, and that's what you're talking about, bringing in joy and bringing in that love and peace inside us, and allowing ourselves to be 100% playful, 69% serious. And I'm going to use that. Yeah.
Yay!
So tell me, as we kind of go into this, and it's already 25 minutes. I don't believe this. I want to ask you, and I want to get into the 69% serious
Yes.
conversation. Is that when you talk about impact, global impact, and all of that, how does we flow and your own understanding goes into, like, what do you feel the impact that we created through this work that you are doing?
Yeah. So interesting. I feel that the impact is actually creating itself in the space. We do say that we do have impact and so on and so forth. And we have, WeFlow is an awareness-based social technology, so we use that with our intuition and attunement. But we feel that changing one human being's awareness about themselves and the world and the potential, the possibilities they have, and the aliveness in their heart, that's it. That's really the beauty of having this human experience and to be able to witness that. And I have infinite aliveness for humanity's gifts. So I think the work can just go on and be spread. Yeah.
You know, when you talk about this and one person at a time, anybody who's watching this, and the moment we have joyful conversations, it'll touch them somewhere, somehow, you know, in the corner of their heart to really listen in. And like what you said, the vibration, the energy shift really impacts people. And if we, and when we, not if, but when we shift that in us, we actually give others the permission to do that. And you're talking all about this. I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about this 100%. I can't get over this right now. When people pray, they want to go into seriousness in praying. And you seldom see people smiling and praying. They're like, they're very serious. So I've actually taken on the journey of praying with smile and joy and that kind of thing. And that really shifts the way that we are functioning on in the world. And we kind of shut down everything else and we're able to function much more effectively. I love your work. Thank you so much, Eiko. I want to end the conversation with you by asking you, what is your message for the world today? Other than all the beautiful things you've shared, what would you leave all the audience today with to impact them?
Beautiful. In reflow, we say there's no need to suffer to come out of suffering. And I want to end with the question, my favorite microagreement, are we inviting the possibility to be mind blown and heart blown today?
One more time.
And what if everything we need is already here?
Yes, yes. Can you ask that one question? Are we allowing? You said something. Can you say that again?
Are we inviting the possibility to be mind blown and heart blown?
Mind blown and heart blown. Are we? I need to like note it down and let people hear it. Are we inviting the possibilities? I'm not going to forget that. Heart blown, mind blown, and heart blown.
Yeah.
You are speaking my language, bro.
Yeah, what if life is so much more beautiful than we could ever imagine? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that powerful questions and the ability to beautifully, articulate it, in impacting the hearts of people listening in. And just friends, if you're watching this and you're watching the recording or the live right now, you know that your human spirit is impacted at a whole different level, and the world needs now for you to be impacted at a new level. And that's the beauty of today's conversation that we have with Eiko. Thank you so much, Eiko, for the love and the joy you are.
Yeah, thank you so much. And people, please, I invite you to just receive everything that is already here, your gifts, everything that's around you, because the more you receive, other people around you have access to that. So enjoy your flow.
Exactly, we flow. And you can get in touch with Eiko on this website. We have put on it on the chat box in Facebook and LinkedIn as well. Get in touch with her and create your flow in life with WeFlow. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. And we look forward to meeting all of you with another amazing transformation leader. This is a project of Go Global Business School. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy your flow, guys.